So you just apply for your student visa, or you're about applying for your student visa, and there's this one fear: what if I get denied? Visa refusals can be quite challenging and very, very depressing. Here is why you need to understand why they actually happen so that you don't make those mistakes. So in this video, I'm going to be outlining all the common reasons why a student visa might be refused so that you can avoid all of these mistakes to improve your chances. So if that interests you, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Dami. I'm an international student in the UK. I talk about the UK lifestyle, document my journey, and everything in between. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know how we do it. I love you. Thank you for coming back. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and let's get right into the whole details. So in today's video, like I said, I'm going to be outlining all of the possible mistakes that you might make that might cost you your visa. So the first one and the most common one is insufficient funds, especially if you're applying from a country like Nigeria, Ghana, or any part of Africa. They expect you to have the pounds equivalent or the card equivalent or the dollar equivalent of the country you're applying to in terms of the proof of funds. So you need to make your own research to identify the exact amount that is requested of you. For the UK, for example, there's a minimum threshold that the UK has given that you must have in your bank account, and that must stay there for 28 days. So if you have that money, even if you have the full amount and it's less than 28 days, consider it that your visa is going to be refused. There's no two ways about it. They don't joke with proof of funds. So another thing is, if you don't have the correct amount in your bank account, your visa is still going to be refused. So what I'm going to say is, find out what the exact threshold is. You need to find out the threshold that your government has set, be it in the UK, US, or Canada, or whatever country you are going to. Find out what the exact figure is that you must have. For the UK, for example, if you've paid some part of your tuition, the remaining balance of your tuition, and then the living expenses, which has actually been increased now. So that figure plus your tuition balance is what you should have in your proof of funds. One of the major issues for international students is the fact that the exchange rate is not static. So it keeps moving up and down, and sometimes might actually go beyond your budget or the money you already have in your account, and you're already like waiting for it to get to 28 days. So in this case, because this situation has happened to a lot of students, and what I usually advise them to do is to pay more tuition, because if you pay more tuition, it's going to reduce the amount of money that you require to prove that you own in your bank account. But sometimes you might not even have like a lot of money, because a lot of things here and there. But that's the best thing, because once you don't have the required money, as at the time that your application is being reviewed, then there's going to be a problem. So why not play safe? Another thing I'm going to say is to put a very, very huge buffer in your proof of funds. So let's say, for example, you are supposed to show 13,000. Why not make it 13,005 or 14,000, so that if there's any like increment or fluctuation, it will not really affect you so much. Like, it's going to now fall back to exact thing that you're supposed to have. So you have to be safe. So if you have enough funds and you have more than the specific amount or the exact amount that is requested of you, then there's no reason why your visa should be denied. And of course, you should know that you need to hold the money for the duration that is requested of you. Some countries will ask for 6-month bank statements, some will say just 28 days, and some will say a year, depending on your country. And you just have to follow that process. If not, your visa is going to be refused. Another thing is weak study plan or inconsistent study plan. When you're writing your statement of purpose, you're going to write why you want to study and all that, your background, your experience, and all of that. And if you do not have consistent plan all through, your visa might be refused. Consistent plan in a way that, let's say, when you're writing your statement of purpose, you said that, oh, I'm going to move back to my home country after my studies, and then during your interview you're saying, oh, I'm going to look for a job, or you're just contradicting yourself. They might feel like, oh, this one is not serious, and your visa might be refused. So whatever you're saying, just stick to the plan, stick to the same thing. So another example will be if they ask you that, okay, what do you want to do after studies, or what is your kind of dream job or dream profession, like what do you want to achieve with this master's program or this bachelor's program? And then you say something like, oh, I'm going to work in industries like this. Let's say you say technology, for example. I'm going to work in the technology industry and whatever you said. And then maybe during an interview or somewhere else during your application you're mentioning something else, or maybe you say you're going to nursing or something, like it might not correlate. It might be a reason they might feel like, oh, maybe this one doesn't even know what it's doing, and they might just deny your visa. So another reason might be lack of home ties, and I think this is applicable to countries like Canada and United States, because they want you to have adequate home ties before they can actually give you a student visa or what kind of visa or any type of visa, because they want to be sure that you're actually going to go back to your home country after your studies. So you have to prove to them that maybe you have maybe a company, or your father owns like a company, a house or something tangible that will actually drive you back home. So if you're not able to prove such, the visa might be denied. And that's why a lot of people prefer the UK, because the UK doesn't like really ask you most of those home ties and all that. As long as you can prove that you really want to study, you can provide your proof of funds, you can pay your tuition, you're surely going to get your visa. But other countries like Canada, US, they will ask you for home ties, they will do a lot of interviews, and all that. So that is actually very, very important. That home ties, you need to research about it. You need to like back it up with a lot of documents so that they are sure that yes, you have a very, very strong home ties, and there's no reason for you to remain in their country and you always want to go back home. Another reason might be your performance during the visa interview. So I know that for countries like the UK, they don't really do interviews. It's just in some rare occasions. Maybe they just want to like get to know you, or get to understand some part of your application. They might invite you for an interview. But some schools will do precast interview. So if you do not like meet the requirements for the precast interview, there's no even way you're going to get to the visa stage. Do you understand? So that's like still part of the visa stage. So if you do not pass your precast interview, they will tell you to probably try again next year, or they might just deny you and tell you to look for another school or something like that, because you did not pass the interview preparation or interview stage. So if you want me to talk about more about the interview questions that you should be expecting, or how to answer them, all those interview preparation or whatnot, you can drop it in the comment section. I'll film another video to talk about that. So for US and Canada, I think there are a lot of tips online that you can actually use to, because I'm in the UK, so I'll talk more about the UK. So the visa interview, basic questions that you should know, how you should answer them, you need to find out, because those things might actually be the reasons why your student visa might be denied. Another reason why a student visa might be denied is due to your previous travel history, or violations, or anything that surrounds your previous applications can actually make them deny your visa. If you think you can just lie in your application and they would not know, they might find out. I would advise you to be genuine as much as possible, especially when it comes to your travel history, places that you've traveled to, previous visa denial. You need to declare it, because most of this country, they have the same database and they can actually find out. And all they just need is your passport number. So they can use your passport number to track most of your travel history. So if you do not declare it, they might feel like maybe you're hiding something and you're not like a trusted person. They might deny your visa. If you have visa denial in countries like the UK, Canada, US, even some Schengen countries and all that, I think you should put it in your application. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to deny you because of that. All they're just going to ask you is to explain why, as long as the reason was not because of maybe you used like a false document, or maybe you were caught doing something illegal, something like that. You have to declare it, and it doesn't affect your application in any way. You just want to be sure. You just want to know what your history looks like. So if you now like make another mistake and not declaring or lying, it can actually affect your application. So you just have to declare whatever travel history you've had. And one thing I'm going to say again is avoid violations like traveling to countries and overstaying your travel duration. All those things like that will eventually like affect your travel history later on, and never can tell where you might want. Even in fact, it might not even be about student visa. You might just want to travel somewhere like sometimes, and then they'll tell you that you overstayed one time in one country, one time, did not obey the rules, did not obey the law. All those things, you just have to avoid them. So another thing is study gap. I feel like a lot of people do not really like pay attention to this, but it's actually very, very important. So let's say you graduated like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and you're now going for a master's now. So how do you prove to the immigration officer that you are really, really going for a master's program? You know, it's just logical. They're going to be like somebody that's graduated 15 years ago. Why is it now that person wants to go for masters? So you have to always like back your applications with a lot of proof, and you need to explain. In fact, they don't even need to ask you. You need to write this in your supporting statement. What you've been doing during this period, and everything that can actually support your application. When I was talking about my visa processing step by step, if you've not seen that video, I'll tag it here so that you can see the video. I spoke about my study gap and what I actually like imputed in my application to explain what I've been doing and all that. So that the visa officer or your school administrator or whoever is reviewing your application will not just dump it anywhere and feel like, why is this one coming? Why is this one just willing to do a master's, and all that? So they might feel like maybe you just want to jackpot or run away because you're not really interested in the master's program. Do you understand? So you need to be able to express yourself, maybe in your personal statement, or sometimes they write a letter of explanation. I've seen people like doing that in the UK when they apply, they write a letter of explanation of some certain part of their applications. Maybe they were once married, or maybe something, they just explain some part because it might be confusing. So they just write that letter to back up their application, because I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Because once they start reaching out to you for more information, then it might be a problem. Your application is just going to get longer, 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 and you might even be lucky that you see somebody that will send you an email to ask you maybe for an interview or for you to explain more or for you to send more information. Depending on the visa officer might just maybe be in a bad mood and be like, "What nonsense is this? Why is not applying after 20 years? Get out!" you know, especially countries like US. All those people I give all those people no. I think the UK is still kind of lenient when it comes to they want you to explain yourself. They still give you a chance to come and explain yourself, but just do the right thing. Really, that's the best thing. Another thing that might actually happen is you choosing an unrecognized university or even a university that doesn't exist, because a lot of scammers out there. So you just get emails from people telling you that there's this university. Once you apply for this university, they'll give you so amount of scholarship to so, and the university might never exist, and you might not know. They might just forge one website. I think there was a trend one time. There was a school in Canada that the one particular agent was collecting money from people, and they designed the website in such a way that it was good, and then they designed the offer letter and everything. It was until people got to the visa stage that they started knowing that this is not a real school, and stuffs like that. So you need to find out, you need to make your own findings. So I used to tell people, when you want to use an agent, be involved, know what they are doing for you, because whatever they do, they are using your personal information, and whatever mistakes or whatever error or the outcome is going to affect you personally, not them, because they are using your own information. So you'll be the one to suffer the implication of their own mistakes or their own. Do you understand? So you'll be the one to suffer the outcome of their own mistakes or whatever nonsense they've done in your application. So be involved. Don't just pay an agent and then disappear and go to sleep and feel like, oh, they'll send me my visa when it's ready. You have to be involved. Let them send you things that they are using. Proofread it to be sure that they are actually using your own details. Do not be lazy when it comes to things like this, because this has to do with your life. Whatever information they put may actually destroy you, because at the end of the day, if they deny your visa or they even give you like 10 years ban, you'll be the one to face it, not them. They've collected their money, they've moved on. IS, they will say, sorry, we did not know, and that will not change anything for you. So you have to be actively involved, check what they are doing, check that the documents, credentials they're uploading are actually real. They're not forging things for you, because you see all those agents, some of them, they will go and forge one certificate for you. You might tell them that, oh, I don't have this degree. They'll tell you, don't worry, I'll do this one for you, we'll do that one for you. And eventually, when the visa officer finds out or anything, especially when it comes to proof of funds, some of them will just go and fabricate one thing for you and put your name on it. If that money has not been in your account and you've not generated that proof of funds yourself, however you want to get that money doesn't really matter, as long as the money is in your account and you printed the statement out in your name and the money has been in your account, you've been transacting with that account, then you're good. But I know that some people will just go and fabricate one thing for you that doesn't exist. They just go and manipulate it, enter something that doesn't exist and put your name on it. If they ban you, because the agent is not going to do anything about it. So you have to be involved, make sure that everything you're submitting is actually correct. Okay? Another reason is when you apply too late. maybe you've gotten your cars for a long time and maybe you don't have the money to apply for the visa yet. Maybe you didn't get your cars on time. That's a certificate of acceptance. It might take a while sometimes depending on the school, and maybe your resumption date is now very, very close. They might deny your visa. They might feel like, oh, you might not meet up and there is no point giving you the visa. So you have to apply early. Like if you're going for, let's say, September intake, all your documents must be ready. At least you have to give yourself like 3 months to like the resumption, because anything might happen. You might need to do another proof of funds. Inflation might affect your proof of funds and you need to start again. You might, a lot of things might just happen. So to give yourself buffer, don't put yourself in that tight corner or maybe just have 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left, and you're running to apply for visa. So you have to give yourself time so that you have enough resources, you have enough documentation, and you are at peace when you're applying. Not that, oh, you're scared, you can't sleep, hey, are they going to accept, hey, have I not passed time, hey, is it not too late? Just have to give yourself that buffer and have peace of mind. Another very important one is incomplete application, because there's no way you want to do it if you don't have like the complete documentation, like you did not fill what you're supposed to fill, you did not finish like the application, form, you did not fill the correct things, mistakes, errors in your applications, wrong spellings, all those things might actually make them deny your visa. Because if you do not have the accurate information, like your documentations are not complete, maybe you've not gotten your transcript, wait till you get it before you apply. You've not gotten your certificate, wait till you get it before you apply. Because once they deny you, some of these visa officers might not even be lenient. Some of them might not even slam you ban, because that's like the scariest. Denying somebody is not still like the big deal, because they can still like review. You can request for appeal, get a lawyer and all that, and they will review it again and you provide the remaining documents. But once they ban you, what's the law? So you need to be very careful. You need to make sure that you have all the required documents, because once you're applying, they're going to give you like a checklist of all the documents that you should have. In my previous video where I explained my own visa process, I spoke about all of the documents I used. So that video is very detailed, and a lot of people have reached out to me through that video. They were able to learn a lot and they've been able to do their own application. So even if you don't want to use an agent, you can actually do all these things yourself, because once you have enough information. So I would advise you to watch that video. I spoke about everything step by step, in depth, like details of everything. So that's gonna assist you in putting in your application. And just make sure that you have everything, from your certificate to your transcript to your statement of purpose to your proof of funds to your passport, any information that can back up your application. Maybe your professional certifications, your CV, your cover letter, your references, everything has to be available. They should not be sending emails to send one thing, one thing, one thing, one thing. Everything has to be correct. So if you've done all of these things, then you've paid all the money you're supposed to pay. You've applied, you've made your application straight to the point, straightforward, then there is no reason why they should deny you. So there's a place of prayer, of course. Make village people no follow us. But at least if you've done the correct thing and you've not missed out on any of these things that I've said, you should have there's no point for you to be scared. Just go and sleep and be expecting your congratulations email. Okay. So if you have any question whatsoever, maybe about everything I've said or anything else, please drop a comment below and I'll be willing to respond, engage with you. And I'll see you guys later. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video to somebody that might need it. And of course, click on the notification bell below so that once I drop another video that might benefit you, you will not miss out on it. And subscribe so that you get like timely updates. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.